Welcome to the Premier League show. We're back to discuss all things Premier League and what will be a big weekend, I think, in football. Liverpool take on Manchester City this weekend at Anfield, Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. It's a big game. It's a big game made bigger by last weekend's result. On Sunday last week, Liverpool went to the Emirates. Normally have a very good record against Arsenal. And ultimately lost the game by 3-2. A late penalty from Bakary Saka. With a Bukayo Saka even. The winner. And a game that Liverpool were behind in, 45 seconds or something.
Something like that,
People just allowing players to run beyond them and, without knowing he were there. Got back in it. Darwin Núñez with a good goal. Took it well, sliding in, and then obviously Arsenal went back in front and Trent decided not to run back. This one, not like him at all, no. Obviously equalised the game and then Arsenal won it late on. But in terms of where Arsenal are this season, because obviously they're flying. It was the 8th win in 9 games, which is an incredible start for the season for them. If they play Leeds away this Sunday, if they win that game, it's early, if they win that game at kick-off time, we'll talk about City in a minute, but they'd be 4 points ahead of Manchester City and 18 ahead of Liverpool already. Is that too much for Liverpool to claw back already, Arsenal? Especially if they didn't win on Sunday.
I mean, the 18 would be unreal for Liverpool to claw back. And if Man City beat Liverpool, forget about Arsenal for a minute, then that would be 18 and 17 points behind the top two. That would be
That's a lot, isn't it?
lot. And I don't think Liverpool have got enough. And listen, Liverpool have had injuries and have picked up more injuries. Diaz I think's out till after the World Cup now. He's not coming back till Boxing Day. Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to be out for a couple of weeks as well. So they have picked up injuries, which happen, of course. That's why you have squad. But you'd probably have to rule them out of it this season, and that's what happens. Ultimately, you have a bad start when the teams are so good. You're talking about. You look at the league table and where Liverpool have finished in the last couple of years and getting over 90 points. Liverpool would have to win probably every game, bar a couple, to get to that over 90 points again. You know what I mean? That they probably have to. I'm sure I worked it out the other day. Something like
29 games to play, haven't they?
Yeah.
So that's 60 points, and so it's 87 points. So if they won every game, they'd have 97 points, which is what they got the other season. That's winning every single game. It's if they drop 3 more wins, that's it. It's gone. You can't get 90 points already, and it's only October. So the problem is, you've just hit the nail on the head. The problem is, as good a start as Arsenal have had, I personally, and I hope I'm not offending Arsenal fans if they're watching, I don't expect them to carry on the way they are. The thing with Manchester City is normally they do carry on the way they are, so you can't give too much away early on. In the past, talking about 10 years ago maybe, you might have got away with this sticky start. You can never rule Liverpool out, and I still wouldn't. But you'd get it. You might still be in it at this stage, because the team who your rivals probably wouldn't have won as many games as what City had won. So you'd be going, well, we're 6 points behind, but we can make that. And now, these teams just seem to win.
But that's the point, isn't it? Like, that's what I was saying about if City beat them this weekend. It wouldn't be about catching one team, it would be about catching 2 teams. You've got to win all your games, and also those 2 teams have got to drop a lot of points. And for Arsenal, for Manchester City, they're used to. They don't. I imagine Manchester City look at things of we have to get 90 odd points. That's what we get anyway. So the team next to them, they're basically saying, can you match us? So it's not a case of.
Spurs play Everton on Saturday night. If Spurs win, they go joint second, and they'd be 13 points ahead of Liverpool. So you're talking on Sunday night, if it went wrong for Liverpool, they'd be 18 points behind Arsenal should they win, 17 behind City and 13 behind Spurs already.
Don't forget it.
Now they can catch Spurs, I think, because 4-5 wins over a season. It's doable. You've got to play Spurs as well, of course. But you're giving yourself a big mountain to climb already.
It is difficult, and it is really difficult. And but obviously that's where Liverpool, it almost comes down to a must win on Sunday now, doesn't it? And I think for Arsenal and City, they were due to play each other next Wednesday.
Yeah.
But obviously that game has been postponed now for Arsenal to play in the Europa League because of a game that was postponed earlier. So it's setting it up. It's funny the way it's playing out, and it's setting up like that game's not, the Man City Arsenal game's not going to be played this side of in this year. So you're gonna have two Man City Arsenal games next year now. In the back end of the season, they're going to be huge, and I say Arsenal have been really, really good. Whether they can keep it going, who knows? But
the thing for Arsenal this season was the top 4.
Yeah,
wasn't it? So the fact that they're flying out the traps now, they're setting themselves up to be in a position where they're comfortable.
What does it say about Liverpool though? Because I know they're having a tough season, but say they did finish 4th again this season, that would be 2 4th place finishes in 3 years, by the way, since they won the league. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I know some of their fans are getting a little bit worried about the lack of buying power and how they're not trying to keep up with Man City, which is really difficult. We know that, but
I think what Liverpool's issue has been the midfield. I know they've had injuries, and everyone, you can go right down the league with teams who've had injuries. Our own club was at 8 or 9 already, and we've only played 9 games. And Liverpool have had big injuries as well, and it does hamper you, of course it does. And there's a thing here that I think probably Liverpool fans are speaking about it, but other people seem to have maybe missed as well, is that how huge Sadio Mane was for them. Mane was the player that in games like we talk about Liverpool, saying they're Arsenal, he would have been the player that put Liverpool 3-2 up in that game. Where Mo Salah has been a little bit, still fantastic, but he's been a little bit quieter. Diaz has been a bit hit and miss, but Mane was the constant.
Where would they be without Firmino?
Firmino's fantastic.
He's been unbelievable for them, and Diaz hasn't quite settled just yet, and the red card sort of threw him out in his coming in and stuff, and how they're playing, and they look a little bit disjointed. But
Nunes, you mean?
Nunes, sorry.
Yeah.
It's been very, very strange start for them this season, and obviously Sunday does feel make or break for them. It really does. Just I know they're coming off the back of an amazing Champions League win. I mean, not against the greatest opposition in the world, but it does feel like, if they're going to get any kind of momentum going, it has to be now, and it has to start with the game against Manchester City. To get before that break, which probably will be a welcome break to Liverpool for all the injuries and stuff, to get all those players back. Klopp will probably be looking at it right now going, if we can pick up 4 or 5 wins, which they would expect, and we'd all expect them to win in these next set of fixtures. They've got City, then they've got West Ham in the next couple. If they were to win, 4 or 5 of them and get themselves at least that momentum, and then get the players back from injury, then they'll be thinking second half of the season we'll have a right go. But it's whether they do win those games. And that's where Sunday is so pivotal for them.
I think if you're Pep Guardiola on Sunday, just don't get beat.
Yeah.
Normally you're looking at it in the tight, the nip and tuck, so they're thinking if we beat them, we've got a leg up on them here. They're already miles ahead of them. So if they come out of it still, City are on 13 points clear of them. If they come out of it Sunday night still 13 points ahead, he'll be more than, he'll be like... Even though I think City, speaking to the Reds in here, they're very wary about Sunday. They think they're going to get battered, but I don't.
No.
But I think if you Pep Guardiola, avoid the defeat, because he's come out today and said Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool are still their biggest rivals, which is an interesting one.
Got to, haven't you?
Well, you have got to say, because they have been over the last 5 years. They have been, haven't they? And it's an interesting one. It also ties into what's been going on in 88 Sport this week on the playlist. They've been discussing who the Premier League managers' greatest rivalries are, or the best rivalries. So let's have a listen to what the lads have got to say about that, and girls.
Wenger Mourinho, that was nasty. That was war. That was horrible.
Mate.
But I think the Fergie Keegan one, right? I sort of remember
but you
that.
got to have fisticuffs on the
No, but
touchline, and
I
Wenger
always
Mourinho
remember-
went for it.
But, you know, where did mind games start? It started with this rivalry, Fergie and Keegan, when he got inside Keegan's head, and Keegan, who was on his way to win the league, completely lost it, and that is why. That's like, for me, that's the original.
Nutter.
The original. original, not that. But that's the
That should
original
drop.
one.
That beat should drop right now.
That's a bad tune. That was the original, to me, that's the original big clash. That
Do you know what?
has
I
to
think
be-
you're right. I've put Pep and Klopp on here because I thought we had to.
man.
I thought that was like part of the... I thought that was part of the... No, this doesn't belong here. I
it's
hate that.
disputed.
I hate the way
That belongs on there
great.
more. Tuchel
Tuchel Conte.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was for 1
Pep-
second.
Pep and Klopp,
Let's
I
get
don't
that
like
off.
that. It's too nice, hugging each other
hate
off
it.
the
Dissing each
game.
other, telling each other how good they both
Do you know
are.
what I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
offended by? I'm so offended. You know when Chelsea play and Chelsea play against West Ham? We have such antipathy towards West Ham United. Like, they are one of our biggest rivals. And you know when I see sort of Declan Rice and Mason, I know they're mates, but just pay me the courtesy of pretending that
Yeah,
you're not.
wait till
Just
you
wait
get
for
off
the
Dressing
camera.
room and then go down and then go sexy fish together and order the black cod. Do what you got to do, right? But just pretend to me that the rivalry matters. Like, pretend to me that the rivalry matters.
It's
please.
still, club over everything.
Interesting chat there. Some good ones brought up. Just on Klopp, Guardiola. I mean, Robbie was saying there, obviously, all the hugging and all the loving for each other. There is a respect there, but I think on a purity level, you go, oh, it's a football rivalry just because the two teams are quite good. But you were saying there, it was mentioned before, and Alex Ferguson and Jose Mourinho, Arsene Wenger, and then obviously Mourinho in with Wenger as well, and stuff like that. But is Ferguson Wenger like probably the most needly one, and the one that, because those two teams, you think of that game at Old Trafford with Keown and Van Nistelrooy.
Definitely, there was definitely a war of words that there was never ever any, they never showed any kind of love for each other. They might have gone and had a bottle of wine with each other or whatever, or a glass of wine with each other.
But it was never.
But it was never shown on the pitch.
Never.
And it was funny because you just said that. I was thinking for a minute, Pep and Mourinho. Remember the old fish hook at Barcelona, Real Madrid, and all that kind of thing. They really don't like each other.
No.
But yeah, I think see the thing about it, we see this all the time, not just managers, but players as well. When they go off after the game and they're hugging each other and then they're giving it all that. Yeah. Fans don't want to see that. No. Fans never want to see that. No. Fans look at the Conte thing with Tuchel. Everyone loved it. Carragher goes, it's what everyone wants to see. It's what everyone wants to see. But there was a rawness of that, that was genuine. And don't get me wrong, people might want to see anything like that, but people just want to see that thing of shake hands and look the other way kind of thing. The old no look shake.
Yeah, well, you've got to be skillful to
people want to see that.
Got to be.
People want to see that because they don't want there to be any signs of weakness.
I'll be honest. Chelsea beat us first game of the season, and I was a bit annoyed because obviously the penalty, there was a foul in the first, wasn't a foul in the first, which the referee give it, and all of that, and we lost the game.
Yeah.
We're all, clapping, and then Frank Lampard's hugging their players. Yeah. No, mate.
I don't want any
There's
of
a tunnel there.
Yeah.
I could have understood it if it was the way it had been, where they go off one way. Yeah. They go down there, go and do whatever you want in that tunnel, but on that pitch, you're ours. For that thing, so you can.
And we saw that a bit more of that against West Ham, didn't we?
Yeah, you can kind of go and give the little well done, but but hugging this and having a chat, nah, mate, get rid of it. Yeah. They were in the tunnel by all means, no problem. I don't expect them to hate them.
No, I don't think it's a hatred. I think it's more of a respect for your own fan base or for your, or if it's been a defeat.
If you win and they come up to you, those players to hug you, then that's all. But think of where you're at. Do you know what I mean? That's just me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think like that. The old confabs in the middle with I don't know, you've got the same your teammates in the national team and all that. People don't want to see that. No. They don't want to see that on the pitch.
Tunnel there, it's out of shot. You can do it all.
Go down the tunnel or the players' lounge or whatever there is. People don't want to see that. No. It's not needed. And
shake hands, go and see your own fans and get off the pitch. That's all. That's what I like. But obviously we did have all that with Wenger and Alex Ferguson. Them games, obviously, you think of Keane, Vieira and all of that.
It is a lot more of a civilised era now, isn't it, in the Premier League? Like they're the two rivals, and they never really badmouth. You know, we don't get the old Benitez facts.
I mean, that was one month for a few
Ferguson
years.
knew how to wind everybody up. Kevin Keegan.
Oh,
you know,
God, yeah.
I love it. Ferguson was the master of getting in people's heads and manipulating people.
Yeah.
And then Wenger came in, and Wenger was very like sort of quiet and methodical about things. So it was almost like, you're not getting in my head.
But he did it sometimes.
But he did. But we just don't have that in the game anymore. No. It's just not. I don't know whether it's because of the media landscape's changed and all that kind of thing.
Mourinho does love it. Mourinho does love it though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's done, I mean, you know, running down the line at Old Trafford when Porto scored.
What's wrong? But what's wrong?
No, I know, but
do you know
then
what I mean?
you've seen the things of like where he's gone back to the bench and when he's been back at Chelsea and standing there like this, 1, 2, 3 at Chelsea when he won the United.
Ultimately, a lot of the time it starts before the game, doesn't it? And if there's a lot of like times when managers will go, oh, really, these are so difficult, and it's like, they've been beaten last 14 games. They're not difficult, are they? But that's what I'm saying. They'll never make that mistake of going. It's not like the boxers where it's gone like they have to ramp themselves up. There's always like, oh, it's one of the hardest places to be. They haven't won for 3 years at home, mate. I know, but forget about that. This could be the day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Because you're thinking, I'm not jinxing it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Lampard the other week with, if you rivalry, like when we beat West Ham, and he's like that to the West Ham fans because they're giving him stick.
Seen it Gerrard last season when he beat us, and it was like that thing of like swaggering off the pitch.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? You kind of expect it, but with the managers, it is all nicey kind of thing, isn't it? And yeah, I think if we're being honest though, probably, or certainly for us, for our era as well, is that we remember when it was Nig and people really didn't like each other.
I think Wenger and Ferguson for me, simply because Wenger was the first manager to come in and really take what Manchester United were doing away from them. I know, like, you know, they lost the league to Blackburn and stuff, but they were the first one to step on their toes and it to be a real swing.
And to do it differently. Do it with it.
And then Mourinho got in, and then Mourinho did that to Wenger in a way.
Yeah,
and Ferguson was almost in the background going,
you
know,
let him do it.
I'll sneak through this. So it is a big part of it.
It's a dying art though, isn't it?
It is, sadly,
until
you know.
Saw Conte and Tuchel earlier in the season.
I've got a feeling though, Graham Potter's going to have something up his sleeve, and I don't mean magic.
Graham Potter.
I just get no the way right.
Bring
like
the wand
this
out.
doesn't right in Star Wars, right? Stay with me here. In Star Wars,
not the original Star Wars. Obviously.
Anakin Skywalker just increasingly wears more black,
right,
and then eventually becomes Darth Vader, right?
Yeah.
So this signs, and I've noticed Potter recently, he's becoming more of the villain. Like, you look at him, he's becoming the fella who lives in a volcano. There's more and more. He started small, and he's got to Chelsea now.
He starts wearing black turtle.
Well, he has. He did last week.
Did he?
I'm telling you, he's becoming a Bond villain. I am telling you, and he's gonna one day he's gonna be like, I have manipulated you all.
Good man, is it? Yeah. The beards helped him.
Telling you, he's a Bond villain, ready to come out. And soon as he's got soon as he's got a little bit more swagger about him, won a few more games, he's gonna start playing the game. You mark my words.
Okay.
You mark my
all
words.
Right, fair play. It'll be some turnaround, that's for sure. Man City did win 4-0. There was another goal for Erling Haaland on Saturday. They outrageously good at the moment. 4-0 goals from Cancelo, Foden, Riyad Mahrez and Erling Haaland gave them a comfortable win over Southampton. So they're flying. You were just talking about Graham Potter. They had a good result. Won the first game the week before at Palace late on, but they comfortably beat Wolves 3-0 at the Bridge. Kai Havertz, Christian Pulisic, and a goal for Armando Broja.
Backed it up with a comfortable win in the Champions League as well.
The Champions League away at Milan. So he's come in. He's got a good steady start, hasn't he? And he's a good manager. And they've got good players. So if they listen to him, I imagine they'll come strong.
Although a few injuries, isn't there? Reece James looks like he could be out the World Cup.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah. So knee injury, and there's a few other little issues that he's got around the squad. But he's got a goal scorer, Aubameyang now. You know, scored in the Champions League as well.
Yeah. Dangerous.
You know, very good player, and
Well, at the moment they're in 4th place and they've got a game in hand. Chelsea,
Yeah.
they got 16 points, so they're doing well.
Doing well.
He's a good manager, doing very well. Spurs, who we mentioned before, you know, if they to beat Everton on Saturday, would go 3rd, but right into the mix. Won 1-0 at Brighton, which is a good result. Harry Kane, really clever goal. You know, driven cross, just readjusted himself, little flick beyond the keeper, and to go to Brighton and, you know, to win there, another clean sheet for them. They're not getting lots of plaudits. There's been some criticism of Conte. I don't know why there's this thing that people feel like they have to level at managers if they're not entertaining everyone. He's
never
getting
been
results.
an entertaining
He's never
manager.
been, even when Chelsea won the league, they were a good side, but they were a hard team to beat. They're just relentless, and that's the big difference he's made to Spurs. When you've always got goals in you, as they proved in midweek in the Champions League. But they've got goals in because they've got 2 unbelievable strikers in Son and Kane. They've got good enough players to get them the ball. So if you get them the ball often enough, they'll do damage to you. And obviously they've got Richarlison as well up there now. But Conte it's organisation and it's getting the best out of what he's got, and that's what he's very good at. And they went to Brighton. Brighton had 60% possession, double the shot Spurs had. And Spurs have come away with a 1-0 win, so they're doing really well. On Saturday, Bournemouth beat Leicester, which was Leicester had just had that 4-0
big turnaround
win.
yeah.
And you thought, are they gonna? Is this it now? They're gonna start winning games. Patson Daka gave them the lead on 10 minutes, and then Bournemouth scored 2 goals in 3 minutes to win the game. And I look at Leicester, and even though they've got some good players and they've got goals in the side, defensively they're horrific. The goalkeeper's is not doing a great job replacing. He's either not great or he's in really bad form, because at the moment they've lost such a big character for them in Kasper Schmeichel. He was still an excellent goalkeeper, and Ward's just not done enough. But for Bournemouth, Gary O'Neill just getting results
really well.
I still think that, they're in 8th position at the moment, Bournemouth, right? I still think they're going to be there or thereabouts for battling to stay up. But they've had a brilliant start for them.
Since the defeat by Liverpool.
Scott Parker, they've done very well.
They have.
Haven't they?
Shown that he probably isn't a very good manager.
Or the players didn't buy into what he was doing. If he's sulking and having a go, and then Gary O'Neill said, well, let's just be solid.
But isn't that an issue, though, when your manager is basically turning around and saying to your players, you're not good enough. I need players. Yeah. And the players have probably gone, sod you then, roll up our sleeves and we'll show you what we've got.
We'll show you, yeah.
And he's they've done that in a way, and interesting.
Yeah, it was. On Saturday as well, Newcastle, another good win. They beat Brentford 5-1 at home.
Win.
A tremendous display of how not to be a goalkeeper from David Raya.
Well, it's an interesting one. He's a good goalie, but
him and the defence, they were calamitous, Brentford. But Newcastle, you've still got to beat what's in front of you, and it was a good win for them, 5-1. Gameras with a couple, Jacob Murphy, Almiron, and an Ethan Pinnock own goal. Ivan Toney had scored a pen on his return to St James's Park in between. Brentford, if they carry on like that, they'll be in trouble, because defensively, they were outrageously bad. 2 of the goals, they basically just passed to Newcastle to score at key times, so they're going to have to improve. Newcastle...
Stop scoring Brentford, though, haven't they?
Yeah,
that's the big thing.
He went away with England on a hot streak, and that's his first
They've stopped
goal.
scoring. I think they got beat by Arsenal 3-0, and then they went to Bournemouth, I think, drew 0-0, and now getting beat 5-1. And you have a bad day at the office defensively, then it's going to catch up on you. Yeah,
they've got to sort that out. But a good win for Newcastle. Eddie Howe has got them going really well. On to Sunday, we've already talked, haven't we, about the big one, which was obviously Arsenal, Liverpool. But Palace beat Leeds, come back to beat Leeds 2-1. Strike. Pascal Struijk had give Leeds the lead. Odsonne Edouard levelled it up, and Eze with the winner. 14 minutes from time to give Palace.
Good goal as well. Good player.
Yeah, he is a good player.
Good player.
A good player, and a good example of kids being told they're not good enough to just keep going and keep going. I couldn't believe how many times he's been rejected to making it now, because he's still only he's only 20, I think,
Yeah,
or
fair
19,
play.
20. He's a big lad, good with the ball,
Great,
good goal.
great feet.
But yeah, they've nicked that one. Palace, that give them 9 points, their second win of the season. West Ham come from behind, I think, to beat Fulham.
Yeah.
3-1, Pereira with a goal, put Fulham ahead, but Jared Bowen, Schumacher and Mikel Antonio goal and injury.
Great goal by Schumacher, but lovely. I mean, great goal, but this handball rule is mad. You know, we saw Man United goal this lad in our game. Ball comes up, bounces on him, his arm, and you know, the Schumacher one. He first touch puts spin on it, and it comes and it hits him on the hand. You can see. It hits him on the hand and it creates spin. You can see that, and then that sets the ball up nicely for him. And it's a great finish. Don't get me wrong, but I think there was another one with Antonio. We handballed it, and there was one in the Liverpool game, and I thought it was a stonewall penalty to Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
I really did. The way the handball law is
Because
supposed
he went
to be.
like that, it hit him. He said it was too close,
But he was
didn't
there.
he?
His
But
hand
the
was
hand
there.
was out.
And it was like, what? The rule is just bizarre.
But we've seen it in the derby, haven't we, when James Milner went like that with his hand and deflected it over the...
But the rule is so bizarre that it needs...
Other times you get given a penalty for it.
Yeah, it's mad. But good win for West Ham.
No,
Back-to-back. They've done it again in the Europa League. They've qualified already. So, again, all those people having a go at Moyes, he's steadied the ship. And now, you know, that kid's scoring goals now. And he looks a talent.
Well, he's a good player, but it's whether he carries it on, isn't it? That's the challenge for him now, isn't it? To keep it going. If he does, they'll be fine. And we said Moyes would be fine if they let him get on with it. It was just, there was a lot of noise. They lost a lot of games.
Bowen started scoring again.
Yeah, that's key.
And I think, you know, he can now bring on Antonio on from the bench as well, so that saves him. And he, you know, if he chipped, I think he got a goal in this game as well. And if he starts doing that, and, you know, now they don't have to worry about the Europa League, they've already qualified. So,
should settle down for them now, shouldn't it? United come to Goodison and beat Everton 2-1, went behind. Great goal by Alex Iwobi. His first from outside the penalty area in the Premier League. It's a lovely goal. Manchester United, you know, it sounds mad to say they were gifted 2 goals, because they weren't gifted, but they were given 2 opportunities to counter-attack, which is what they're very good at, and Antonio and Ronaldo got them the win. But I'll be honest, at the risk of sounding bitter, I didn't think it was a great performance from United, because Everton were terrible on the night. We know it was our worst performance of the season. But when you've got the quality Manchester United have got in those attacking third positions, can they mount a serious challenge for top 4, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think what they're doing, don't forget, this is a team they've lost once in, is it the last 6?
Lost the opening 2, didn't he? And then...
So they got battered by Man City, that's fair enough. But they've won games that maybe they would have struggled to win in the last couple of years. You know,
beat Liverpool, didn't he? Beat Liverpool, he beat Everton.
I think they're doing... I think
that
it's a
last
work
season.
in progress, and they're winning games while it's going on. And I think that's the best position you can be in.
Yeah.
I think we saw that with Arsenal last season as well. Getting back to being flat-track bullies. That's all you can ask. And yet there will be games that you won't always win. You know, City or whatever. But
City are just...
Yeah.
They're in the numb. They're just miles.
They don't lose the ball, so therefore how can you counter-attack them?
Yeah, you can't counter-attack.
So, I didn't think United had a lot to offer going forward, apart from when it was counter-attacking football. But they know that, and they'll be working on it, and they'll be looking to bring better players in.
And they know that if they get those players, the chances they'll take them, because the quality...
And they've doubled down on it with the likes of Antonio. It's not Anthony, sorry, they've doubled down with buying a player like him. And so, I think they can mount it.
First Manchester United player to come in and score in his first 3 Premier League games.
So,
Hello, Everton.
I don't think, don't get me wrong, they're not going to challenge anywhere near for the league, but they can
top
challenge
4.
for top 4.
Yeah, Ten Hag, fair play to him. Monday night, Forest 1, Villa 1. Emmanuel Dennis with his first goal for Forest. Ashley Young still going.
Rolling back the
with
years.
A leveler. Steven Gerrard wasn't happy with his big hitters, as he called them. Time for them to step up. He openly admitted the other day that he's under big pressure at Villa, and he feels it. So,
but he made some big calls in the summer, didn't he? Likes of taking the captaincy off Tyrone Mings and you know, sort of calling a few people out at the club, and or you know, through different ways. But I think it's the way at times they play. I mean, Coutinho's done nothing for them.
He should have just been shook hands and let him go back.
But he
to
couldn't
Barca.
because there was like emotional attack. Don't get me wrong, Everton have done this loads of times.
Oh yeah.
There was he's under a little bit of pressure because of the money he spent, and you know, it's.
Are they better not just doubling down on
because
him? Just let him get on with it.
It's like anything else. We've
Just let
talked
him
about
get on.
we talked about Hasselhoff, and it's like he's the manager of Southampton. It's like there doesn't need to be this big, like
For all
over
because
it.
of his, if it was Dean Smith still, would it still be? Maybe, because it may be the Villa fans who are going, we want to be better. We do it as Evertonians, but there is this weird thing with him and Steven Gerrard, him and Frank Lampard, of that, like, they're almost waiting for them to fail.
They must
so
be
they can
brilliant
jump.
managers because they were brilliant players.
But if the results aren't putting them in the top 3, they must be sacked then, they're not any good. And it's like, just let them get on with it. Have a look in a couple of years and see what they're doing.
It's a strange one because they're playing Forest, and Forest are desperate for something. You know, they
Villa with the better side.
They
as
doubled
well.
down on their manager. They've sacked all the other people, but they've doubled down on the manager. They've got rid of people from the recruitment side.
Well,
of things.
yeah, Villa had 60% possession and had double the shots Forest.
But then they went to Leeds the week before playing against 10 men and couldn't break them down. So he will ask questions of those players, those forward players, and why aren't they doing better? I mean, there's a couple of Villa players there I'd love to have at Everton. You know, just because.
Who would you have?
Watkins. I'd love to. I think Watkins would do well for us.
He's one who wants out, apparently. I don't know how true that is, but that's one of the sayings.
I think Ings off the bench for us would be great. But I look at them and go, you've got a decent little front line there, but they're not doing it. So
Blendier as well, is a good player.
It's an interesting one. Are they playing too many attacking players? Has he got the balance?
I know, but he's probably thinking,
no.
If they're your best players, let's get them on the pitch. They play Chelsea at home. This weekend. So for this weekend, obviously, Leicester Palace. That's an interesting one because Leicester needs something and Palace are on it. Fulham Bournemouth. Wolves Forest. Big game for Wolves, that huge game for Wolves because obviously Bruno Lage gone.
Well, they apparently I've spoke to Nuno to come back.
There you go. And then Spurs Everton, and then on to Sunday, like I've just said, Villa against Chelsea at 2, Leeds Arsenal, we talked about before, United at home to Newcastle, that'll be an interesting one. Southampton, West Ham, and Liverpool, Manchester City, which is obviously is the big one.
And there's games next week as well,
And
midweek.
So the midweek fixtures.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week.
Top of the league, Arsenal by a point from Manchester City. And then obviously Tottenham in 3rd. Yeah. So big weekend, as we said. That's it for the Premier League show. We'll be back next week to discuss 2 rounds of games from the weekend and the midweek ones. So we'll see you.
Check out the 888 Sport channel as well. Go over and watch the rest of that video, the playlist. Give them a like. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thanks for watching.
Bye.